I'm going to start working on this door real soon. I went to Lowe's today and I bought 2 sheets of 1/4 inch BC exterior grade plywood and a bunch of 1x4s, and I'm going to start to put the door together here pretty soon. I got to buy some epoxy so I can glue all that together. That's the plan anyway. And I've already got a piece of 1x6 or so oak board, 1x6x8, and it's already fitted on this side. I have another piece. It was like a 1x8 that I ripped it in half, and I thought I was going to use 2 1x4s on each side, not realizing that there's so much curve in the outer edge of the bus. A 1x4 is not wide enough to reach the outer edge of the bus for aesthetic reasons, and to give me enough wood on the inner side to actually screw hinges and stuff to. So on that 1x8 that I ripped in half, I glued it back together with a spline in the middle, and that's going to go on this side, since that's not really all that structural. It's just for the doorknob and latch lock, bolt lock. On this side, I went and bought a new 1x6 oak board, red oak, and I've got it cut to meet this weird shape here, and I'm just about straight in straightening out this guy here. Got a little bit more, I gotta put a little bit more bend in it to make me happy. Then I can do the install on the door jamb, which I've been just holding off on because, yeah, you know, it's just a whole new project. I gotta make all that fit, figure out how I'm gonna make the headpiece go across the top, which is not a big deal, right? But I mean, you still gotta figure this stuff out because you want it to be watertight, right? So it's gonna have to be up on top of that surface there and connect in the corners. And this is angled in a weird way, and you know, there's all that going on. And I was a little bit bummed about the electrical system, but now that that's behind me, I'm feeling a little bit genned up again. Okay, Saturday, September 28th. How you guys doing? Hakuna Matata. So, yeah, I am putting some time to this entry door, and I've already kind of jumped the gun a little bit. I have not been doing my best work on this door. So what I jumped the gun on, I don't know if I jumped the gun or not, but I bought some of this red oak, and this is the piece. See with this cut here? This is the piece of wood that I intend on putting on the forward side of the door opening. And there's another piece back there that's going to go on the opposite side. So I came out here today just trying to brainstorm some more ideas, and I'm getting some more good stuff on trying to fit the door in here, because you know, this thing is sitting at an angle, right? So the idea I had this morning, I mean, let me put this over here like that. So that's pretty straight. So you could see the difference, the angle that this thing has on it, this surface. Forget about the little angle thing over there, because I've compensated for that with the cut in the wood. But I guess let me put this over here like that. There. I'll have to hold it. It's not so bad. It's a few degrees, okay? So then I said, well, let me come, you know, just take some measurements off of this thing and see how straight we are. So I've got this piece of, oh, this is not straight. Yeah, we'll do it this way. It's straight this way. It's a piece of Delrin I've got, just because it's something I can work with. I mean, I could put anything across there, a 2x4, or actually even nothing. Let me just take it out of there, because I can put my square down there on the long side down. Okay, so that gives me, right? So we'll see how square this corner is where I'm going with this. So I've got a 6-foot level, and I'm just using it for the straight edge because there ain't nothing level here. I'm going to put it up against there, and I'm off of that little angle. All right, and we can look here, and it's fairly straight. We've got about 1/8 of an inch gap down there at the bottom, and we're touching all the way up here. So now I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this one-handed. I take my square and I put it over here. Look at how much out of true we are. All right, let me see if I can hold that with my foot. There we go. No, I ain't gonna be able to do it. But when I had 2 hands, I was about, looking at about that much in order to make that bottom a 90. Way the heck out. So pretty much this corner is just going to have to be wider than a 90 down here, because this side is leaning back. This side here is leaning to the right about 3/4 of an inch to an inch from the top. There's that much of a space up there, which is really huge when it comes to working on doors and stuff. I'm used to things being really precise. So yeah, I'm going to take some measurements across and see how we differ from there to there, and then from there to there. Maybe we're parallel on the sides, but it's just the bottom that's crooked. And the top kind of almost doesn't matter, because I'm going to put a board across there and match whatever angle I need. But the bottom line is I need to make a door that fits inside this trapezoid, and that's hard enough as it is when it's a nice rectangle. So let me take some measurements and I'll be right back. All right, so it's 31 3/8, and it is parallel here. At least I only measured from the outer edge, okay, just to kind of get my feet on the ground with this thing. So the sides are parallel. That means the bottom is crooked at over here. So that's good. At least the door is parallel. I don't even know what the top is, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So what I'm fighting with here, you can see some red paint on here. I was using this piece of wood and hitting it with a hammer. I should have done it with the other way. But anyway, this has got a bump in it, if you will. So I put my straight edge here. Down there at the bottom we're flush, right? And when you get up to the top, right now I got a 1/2 inch of space at 6 feet. So if I do it the other way, keep that flush going up, I got about 1/8 of an inch in the middle, and there's a bit of a bump right around here, right? And then maybe 1/4 inch at the bottom. So I'm going to kind of probably be splitting that. So anyway, what I did is I took my hammer and I pounded this, because it looked like it was a high spot here, and it was, But when I pounded it, what happened is this deflected and this was springing. So it's actually a little bit better here anyway than it looks, because that is springing. So yeah, we got the same thing going down there at the bottom. It's springing. If I push that in, and look what happens up there. We're already over an inch at 6 feet. So, yeah, this is going to be real interesting. I don't want to bend my door jamb to meet the bus. I want this to be straight, because if I bend the door jamb to meet the bus, then I'm going to have some weird edge on the door, and we got hinges, so we need all that to be in line. Yeah. I think ideally the thing to do would be to shim behind the door jamb. I mean, that's what you would do on a house. If you were doing a door installation on a house, you shim behind the door jamb and you get the door jamb plumb and straight. So now this piece of wood is pretty straight. See. All right, so now we're up against this area is pretty straight. I'll take my piece of wood and put it here just to use as a straight edge. You can see it's within about a 1/16 of an inch straight. Okay, so if that means we can put that in there. Okay, and if we allow this screw line to be the boss, we've just got a really big gap there. Now, I already tried once to bend that out. I've already put my butt on the dashboard and pushed this out as hard as I could, and it came back. It's just flexing. I mean, I did get a little bit more bend at the top, but it actually distorted the metal here, and I needed to have a bend further down, like right there. And I guess it won't bend. I don't know. Thing is, you know, this is going to be, the hinges are going to be attached to this, through bolted or screwed, whatever. So whatever I put on this, it can't be squishy. It's got to be solid. So I got some more checking and figuring to do in order to figure out how I'm going to attach this and give myself a nice jamb. Oh, so the trick I came up with, let me get my little piece of Delrin here. So we've got, I'll put that right here, equal on the edge. Okay, just to, you know, be a measuring device. That's okay. Even there, even there. So if I put a piece of wood on top of this door jamb, like a wedge, another piece of oak, I guess, with that angle in it, that would give me the edge of my door being flat, not an angled edge on my door, which that was what I was actually planning on, and staying with this angled door jamb and just match the door to the jamb. But I've been having some trials and tribulations on making the door, and I really would rather have the door with a flat side to make the hinges less of a challenge. So that I can put another piece of wood on top of this and compensate for that. That would be great, but I do need or would highly like to get this thing really straight. And yeah, so the only places that this door jamb has to be rigid is in the area of the hinges. The rest of it is pretty much just to hold the door seal. And I've done some home door installations and learned from my father, who was a professional carpenter, how you do that, and they come out just absolutely fantastic. So maybe that's what I need to do. Let's think about where my hinges are going to go. Alright, so I've got that spaced out about 3/16 at the bottom, and that gives me a very straight line. It's a little bit hollow in the middle there by almost a 1/16 of an inch, right where my hand is here. So maybe that can come out just a hair. I've got oh, that was cool. I put a screw in right here to hold this, to make this a little easier to size up what we got going on. So now if I show you this part, it might be more visible to see what I'm battling here. Here is a high spot in the bus, and this is up against the floor. There's no way I'm going to be able to move this. I mean, maybe just the tiniest bit, but when you look back behind there, you know, this stuff's all tied together, so I'm not going to try to move that. So this is our high spot, and we got, you know, I hit this and knocked it in some, and I shouldn't have. I was really trying to work on this part. So I can pound that out a little bit, but we don't want to have loosey-goosey here. We've got to, for the hinge, the lower hinge has got to have something rigid behind there. So I mean, if I just screwed this tight, then the door jamb is going to be twisted. So now I do have some twist in it. If I step back here and look, and kind of line myself up with the edge, right? And then look up at the top. I guess maybe better do the other way. Trying to see only the wood, not the piece of metal behind it back there. It's kind of hard. I don't really know what the camera is showing here. I think right about there. And then when I come down, you can see we're twisted out. And that's because of this high spot right here. So that's, I guess what I could do, I could put a scribe mark from here to like here, you know, a good 1.5 feet, and then come over here with the belt sander and take about 1/8 of an inch off the back side of this in that area, feathered, if you know what I mean. Then this will sit in there a little bit flatter. That'd be a little help, right? But I'm still gonna have a gap. Well, I can pound this back from the other side. All that is the back side of where the wheel is. There's a big empty hollow back in there. So I could pound that back. That'll take care of that. This edge I could shim. Yeah, I got to get this figured out before I can make my door.